Hey cruisers, welcome back to our weekly vlog. It's great to be back in our normal setting here. The last few weeks have been awesome. I know on our last regular vlog, we took you out into the country with us and filmed by the side of the road with mosquitoes and all, but it was a lot of fun. Hope that you also enjoyed our live stream last weekend where we had a very exciting announcement about our new sponsor, cruiseline.com. We want to thank them as always for their support in helping Cruise Tips TV over these next few months. This is a very exciting partnership. Wanted to let you guys know, if you haven't already noticed, what we have been up to lately. We have made some extremely exciting episodes for all of you. We got together with the MDDS Balance Disorder Foundation and made an episode for you on mal de débarquement syndrome. I hope I'm saying that right. And the response was wonderful. If you haven't already seen that video, please be sure to check it out. It was a really big success, and the foundation actually was able to get onto our YouTube page and comment and help some people out who thought they might be experiencing symptoms. So it's really awesome public service announcement that we're really happy to share with all of you guys. We also had our live stream last Saturday, the 25th of February, and it was really fun. It was our second live stream. If you were there or if you watched the recording, you may notice that we did have some technical difficulties. In fact, we were engaged into the live stream, but we could not get our camera to pick up the image of us. There was just nothing that we could do, and it went on for about 12 minutes, but we want to thank everybody for sticking with us, hanging in there, and being very patient, because it finally got underway after about 12 minutes of me having a near heart attack and my husband having an even worse heart attack. And it was an hour of wonderful Q&A, and we're really excited about it. So thank you very much, all of you, for your patience, for joining us, and for making that such a fun experience. It was fantastic. So that leads me to what we have coming up next. And a lot of you have been asking me if we're going to be doing another live stream. The answer is yes, we absolutely are, and it's coming very soon. I want to make sure I have the date right, but I want to say that it is Saturday, March 14th. I'm double checking here. I'm wrong. It is Saturday, March 11th. I'm very sorry about that. Saturday, March 11th at noon. So we are going to start the live stream, and the special exciting news that we have for all of you is that we are going to be featuring cruiseline.com in this live stream. And what that means is that they are going to be there commenting and helping to answer your questions on the Caribbean and shore excursions in the Caribbean. So Caribbean ports and shore excursions. Now, as many of you know, we live on the west coast of the United States. We do not get out to the Caribbean quite as much. So we thought it would be fun for all of you to bring all of your questions for cruiseline.com to get in there and answer. Now, of course, other people will be answering your questions as well, and you are welcome to bring your questions on other topics. It is generally about an hour of free-for-all Q&A. So please join us, even if you don't have questions about the Caribbean. We're really excited, cannot wait to see how that goes. It should be really fun. If we have technical difficulties, just hang in there. We will be writing messages in the live chat about what's going on if there's something delaying us. So don't leave, stay with us. We will be right back if anything happens. I have been really enjoying letting you guys know too a little bit more about what I have been reading. And I first want to share with you that I got my Princess Cruises Captain's Circle magazine not too long ago, and it is a really nice little issue. And one of the things that I wanted to share with everybody is that they wrote a full article in here on the ocean medallion. And I know that this has been a really hot topic for a lot of people, wondering about privacy, wondering about how this is going to impact their cruise. And I wanted to read to you some of the things that Princess said about this technology, because I think that they're trying to send a message that it's safe and that it's kind of optional, if you will. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what they said about that. One of the things that they said here in the beginning of the article was that using the ocean compass is not mandatory to have an amazing vacation, but the more you engage with it, the more you'll see the exciting and unexpected opportunities on your cruise. Okay, so they're kind of alluding to the fact that it's optional there. Then they go on to talk a little bit more about privacy on this next page. It says here, all personal information will be encrypted and is not stored on the ocean medallion, which is 3 times safer than a hotel room card. Guests who do not want to take full advantage of the medallion class ocean vacation experience can switch their privacy setting to safety only and enjoy the cruise the same great way they do today. So I think that they're trying to send a message, you guys, that this technology is totally safe and there's nothing to be concerned about. So If you have any questions about that and you want to send me a little message, leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer that. I'm sure that you've all seen our episode on the Ocean Medallion already, but I wanted to give you a little follow-up. I also am really excited to tell you that I just got the latest issue of Porthole Cruise magazine. If you've been following us on social media, you've probably seen their gorgeous cover for their, basically kind of their March issue, and the cover is so gorgeous. It has some people stand-up paddleboarding through what I can only assume is some kind of a glacial field, and it's beautiful. But there were a couple of things inside that I wanted to draw your attention to. And one of them is just this amazing article called Going the Distance. And it talks a lot about special services at sea. We get asked a lot of times about cruises for people with special needs, like autism, for example. So I wanted to let you all know what's covered in this article so that if you are someone who's going to be going on a cruise with someone with special needs, that you could perhaps pick up a copy of this issue and read more about it. They talk about mobility, they talk about dialysis at sea, and even autism cruises and more, and how to prepare for those things, how to pick the right ships, how to do some planning, and how to reduce your stress when you're planning for that kind of a cruise. So if you haven't already checked out this issue, it's absolutely beautiful and you should definitely look into it. So now we are excited to get to our usual part of our vlog where we answer your questions. We have some really fun ones today, and I'm actually gonna let my son kick it off today. He has a question for me. Are you ready, son?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
So Bidu asks, "Hi Sherry and family, how do you do carry-on only with small kids? In this case, I am the small kid."
You are the small kid, aren't you? And Bidu, I'm glad that you brought this up because I forgot to mention earlier in this vlog that we did just film an episode on packing for a cruise with carry-on only, and it's been a very popular episode. So I think Bidu must have watched that episode and is wondering, okay, wait, you packed for yourself, you mentioned packing for your husband, but what about packing with kids? Okay, here is my answer to that question. Our young son is 8 years old, and he actually requires less stuff than we do because really all he needs is his toothbrush, his sunglasses, his clothes, and a hat, and some swimsuits and things like that. So he actually, when we do go somewhere carry-on only, he carries his own little carry-on suitcase, and he has like a little, it's a stormtrooper, right, son? Is it a stormtrooper suitcase? It's a stormtrooper. It's a Star Wars stormtrooper suitcase, and he carries it himself, so we're not too concerned about that. Now, sometimes we have to carry it for him, but it is his own bag. It fits right in an overhead compartment, and that is how we do it. When he was a baby, it might have been a little bit more challenging because we would have had a little stroller, and we would have had lots of diapers and things like that, but now he's pretty low maintenance. So I hope that that helps you. It's probably a little easier for us because we only do have one child. So let's see what other questions that we have today. Thank you, son. That was great. Do you have any carry-on tips for Bidu? No, not today? Not really. Okay, well, if you think of any, you let me know. All right, Steve Roth asks our first question today. Steve says, "I think you guys have covered this in previous episodes, but what about the usage of airtight space bags? Do you find those helpful?" Steve, I think you're talking about those compression bags that you pack with, where they're like giant Ziploc bags where you squish all the air out. We do use them on occasion. Mostly we use them when we're going on a cruise where we're able to pack our own pillows because pillows are giant and fluffy and we can squish all of the air out of them. So my husband will pop them in, and instead of using a vacuum cleaner, he actually just gets down on his knees, he rolls all of the air out and cinches them shut. We don't use them a huge amount for clothes because the problem that we have with that is that it makes the suitcase super heavy. You know, you can get too much into the bags and then your suitcase is so heavy that you can't manage it. So we try actually just to use it for our pillows these days, but they're great and they do serve a purpose, but we kind of prefer packing cubes. As you know we're big, huge packing cubes fanatics. All right, next question comes from Joey Lynn today. "Hi Sherry, I'll be traveling on a Carnival cruise and wanted to know if you think a prom dress would be too overdressed for formal night. I didn't want to go in underdressed or overdressed, so I wanted to know what people usually wear for formal nights on a cruise for men and women. I would love to get some advice." Joey Lynn, you can wear your prom dress on formal night. It's perfectly acceptable. You will see people dressed as formally as prom dresses and as casually as maybe, a casual little black dress, or even You'll even see women wearing nice pants and a nice sweater or a nice blouse, things like that. You'll see a huge range, especially on Carnival. Carnivals tends to run a tiny bit more on the casual side. So you rock that prom dress, girl. Do it, wear it. I think that's a wonderful idea. For men, you'll see everything from tuxedos, but not many of them, to collared shirts with sport coats, to men wearing shirts and ties, to even more basic collared shirts. They're probably not going to kick you out of the dining room unless you're wearing something like jeans or something you'd wear to the pool. But I think you should wear your prom dress and send me a picture after your cruise. Jessica Carey has our next question today. Is it best to stick with one cruise line or should you try them all? We're about to go on our first cruise on Monday on NCL Jade. Have fun. Bon voyage, by the way. And we're thinking of booking for fall to take our 2 teen girls with us, but there are cheaper lines and cruises with others. Jessica, I think it's a really good idea to mix it up. I think you should definitely try different cruise lines. I think you should get onto cruiseline.com and do some research. I think you need to look at photos. I think you need to check out all of the reviews. The nice thing about cruiseline.com is that when you do look at their reviews, you know that they're guaranteed to be verified by cruiseline.com as legit, meaning that those people have actually sailed on that itinerary, that ship. They verify it with the cruise line. So you will get the good, the bad, and the ugly on whatever cruise that you're researching. But yes, mix it up. Give it a try. Go out there and do some research. Try them all. We actually made a commitment to do that early in our kind of cruise travel experience. We're really glad that we did because there's so many different things that all the cruise lines offer. And what will probably happen is you'll find 1 or 2 things that you really love about each line, and it's great to mix up the experience. All right, next we have a question from L. Harrison. Hello, I'm going on my first Norwegian breakaway cruise from New York to Bermuda in May, and I wanted to know how cold it gets on the ship. I get cold easily, so I wanted to know what kinds of sweaters to bring or if I need something warmer. Okay, I live on the West Coast, so I'm not as familiar with that New York to Bermuda itinerary in May, so I'm hoping that some of our subscribers can help by leaving some comments in the comments down below and advice for you. If it were me, I would definitely pack a variety of warm outer layers. I would probably pack a light jacket. I would probably pack a few sweatshirts or sweaters or hoodies, things like that. Maybe a few pairs of jeans and some sneakers to keep your feet warm just in case. I don't know if you need things that you would take to Alaska necessarily for glacier viewing, like scarves and hats and gloves and all those things. You probably don't, but I think I would go prepared. And another tip that I have for you is if you run cold, make sure that you take some kind of a shawl or a wrap to take with you to dinners. The dining rooms and theaters can run very cold on cruise ships, and I do recommend that you take something to keep you kind of cozy. Okay, our subscriber tip today is from Kanala Nella from Germany, and Kanala wants to let all of you know that float out day just happened for Norwegian Joy at the Meyer shipyard I think it's the Meyer Werft shipyard in Papenburg, Germany, where a lot of Norwegian and Royal Caribbean ships were built. So you can see pictures of Norwegian Joy on the Facebook site of Meyer Werft already. Kanala says that in the northwestern part of Germany, cruise ship floatouts on their way to the North Sea on the tiny River Ems are a big public event. That's so awesome, and we really appreciate you sharing that with us. So if anybody's interested in checking out the float out, be sure to check that out on the Meyer Werft Facebook page. I think we have covered everything. We are so excited to see all of you again on Saturday. It's going to be this Saturday, March 11th, for our next live stream that's going to be hosted by cruiseline.com. And again, we are talking about Caribbean ports, Caribbean shore excursions, all things Caribbean. So come and hang out with us. Make sure you're following us on social media so that we can keep you up to date on the time. If anything were to change, we would want to let you know that way. So be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Thank you all so very much for watching. We hope that you have a wonderful week. And until next time, we'll see you on the high seas. Bye.
Cruise around the week.
Hey, click me to subscribe. One, you comfortable?